Hi, welcome back to the channel everybody, it's Mike Newton. I'm actually down here at a new golf facility. It's recently been taken over, getting refurbished, redeveloped, and some really exciting plans here at Penrith Golf Hub. And there's going to be a video coming very soon with a little announcement, but I'm going to keep that under wraps at the moment. But that video will be coming with some exciting new news. But in this particular video, we're going to take a look at a very new putter concept with the FGX Hybrid X putter. So very interesting design here from two local guys to me, one PGA professional and one actually club golfer to where I live. This has been in the sort of pipeline for a few years now, brought it to market, and it's quite a very different concept, and I'm going to talk you through it, going to show you a little bit about the putter and see how possibly this is an option for you to go and try if you're maybe struggling with your putting. So Hybrid X putter from FGX, what is it about? Basically, as per the name, it's a hybrid length shaft. So it's a 39-inch length of shaft, and it's at a lie angle of 56 degrees. So typically a putter would be a lie angle of around sort of 70-72 degrees, so obviously a little bit more upright, or a lot more upright, and obviously a length varying from maybe sort of 33 to 35 inches in length, depending on the height, your height, etc. So 39 inches length, it's a lot longer, it's a lot flatter. So ultimately the big sort of difference with this putter is the ball is further away from you. So traditionally with a lot of putters, we're obviously hinging over the golf ball. Eyes typically over that golf ball, and we're in that more of that sort of hinged over, that rocking motion. So this is very, very different, and the concept here is obviously the ball is typically going to be 10 to 12 inches further away from your feet than a traditional putter or traditional ball position for a traditional length putter. So what does this help to generate? What are the advantages of being stood so much further away from that golf ball? So what FGX are sort of saying here, as the ball is obviously further away, we've got a flatter lie angle, longer length of shaft is putting that ball further away from our feet. It creates us in a more of a position that we would do when we make an actual full swing. So putter in itself, or a putting stroke, is very different to what we would normally do in the full swing for obviously majority of the shots in your round of golf. So as with a traditional putter, you're more hinged over, your more arms are more sort of hanging, and you've got this sort of rocking and pendulum sort of action, which has traditionally been done for, well, everything, I think, ever since it started. So with this concept here, it is very, very different. And I think the first thing that is a bit weird in a way is that distance you stand from the golf ball. We're just not used to it as golfers. So I've had a little play around with this putter before I'm filming this, and it did take me a little while to get going with it, just get over that initial strange feeling of being further away from the golf ball. But I'll tell you what, as soon as you get used to that and start to adapt to it, it feels really, really nice. So as we are stood up further away from the golf ball, what it helps to promote, the first thing, is more of an in to square to in pass. So imagine the further we are away from the golf ball, it's so much harder to make an out to in sort of swing path. And to be honest, that's typically what I'd find a lot of golfers, club golfers, would do. They maybe take that club a little bit on the outside and come across that golf ball. So this helps to prevent that and try to create a little bit more of an in to square to in sort of motion. That in itself would typically try and help to square the club face up a little bit. The other big thing that I found when playing around with this putter is the club head stays very low to the ground for a long time through the stroke. So it's not a lift up and a sort of dropping back into that golf ball. It does stay very sort of low to the ground as you're working it on that in to square to in sort of arc, which I really like. And what that then generates is, for me, a fantastic roll off the club face. It just seems to not jump, not skid, it just seems to roll instantly off the club face, which I think is a good thing for a lot of golfers. You know, many guys will sort of launch that golf ball, if you're doing these sort of video of ball roll and of slowing it down, of how that ball comes off that club face. Obviously putters have loft on them, and certain techniques, if you're getting the sort of wrists involved a little bit more, possibly you can possibly add more loft to that putter face at impact. Obviously that gets the ball launching, jumping, it spins, it hopping along, it's not really hugging that surface. Definitely find that with this particular putter is it does seem to roll off that club face very, very well. It just sort of comes off very sort of smooth off. There we go, that's a nice one, and just rolls very, very nicely off the club face. It feels super soft off the face. It's got a milled face. It's a mallet design with a little hole slit in the back section there, which was helping with alignment, along with that white little alignment aid on the top edge there, so it does help a little bit with alignment. But the other thing that FGX is sort of saying as well is you're looking at the line of the putt from obviously from a different position. So typically when we're over it, the head's over and we have to sort of tilt our head to sort of look down that target line. Sometimes difficult to see a certain line of a putt that you're trying to read. With the FGX, and obviously with the ball 10 to 12 inches further away, you're not actually tilting your head, you sort of turn your head. Again, like you would do if you've got a 7-iron in your hands, or a hybrid, or a driver, you know, you stood further away, you'd be looking like that way to the target to see your line. So they're sort of saying you're seeing the line a little bit better. I don't know if I actually see that myself, if I'm being brutally honest, but I do love the way the ball rolls off the club face, and I've had quite a good success with this putter since just sort of playing around with it for about half an hour or so. Holds quite a few nice putts, and I wouldn't say I'm a great putter. It's probably one of my weakest part of my games is putting, so the fact that I'm always looking for something to just give me a little bit of confidence, hole a few putts, confidence goes up, it makes a massive difference to your game. So it comes in a black finish, which I've got here, also has a black head with a sort of chrome sort of face finish, black shaft here, which is actually a graphite shaft, so obviously with the length of it, you couldn't have a steel shaft in there because the weight would just be so heavy. So it's a graphite shaft, but it's firm, it's pretty stable, it's not really flexing there. A nice sort of super stroke style sort of grip there with the FGX logo in there, so it's very finished off very, very sort of nice. It's a little bit in that premium price bracket. I think it coming in at £249, possibly more different head designs coming at a later date, but initially this style of putter is the first launch that they're doing. There's a few tour players out there that are starting to tinker with it. A few on the Europro Challenge Tour are starting to put this in the hands and play around with it. So the feedback they're getting from Tour is quite exciting for these guys. So it'll be interesting to see how this concept takes off. So post comments down below, let me know your thoughts. Hybrid X putter, very, very different concept. If you ever get a chance to get your hands on one, then you know it'll be just interesting to hear your thoughts on this style of it. I think the initial bit that you've just got to get past is how far that ball is out in front of you. I think as soon as you get used to that, play around with it, give it a little bit of time, I think you'll see some interesting putts there. So I'll post the website where you can actually purchase these in the description down below. So I'll put a little link there and you can go and have a little check out the website, see what it's all about, and possibly if you fancy one, you can obviously purchase one online. Okay guys, thanks very much for watching, appreciate you watching the video. As always, as I mentioned before, stay tuned, got some exciting news of this new facility here at Penrith Golf Hub in Cumbria. So I'm looking forward to sort of sharing that with you, but until then, we'll hopefully catch up with you all very soon.